Hey guys, how's it going? Right, in this video, I'm doing a how-to. It's how I master doing a campfire. So lighting it, getting it up and going, maintaining it, and then also putting it out and basically, hopefully, having no trace left after it. So there are many ways to do it, and you've got bushcrafting bloody things. And my way of doing it is just having particular tools at our disposal that makes getting basically a campfire a no-brainer. But there are just simple things you've got to understand about a fire, and obviously preparation, patience is a key thing. But so for a fire to get started and also to maintain it, you've got to have three things, and that is oxygen, fuel, and the other one is heat. Sorry. Without those three elements, you won't create that fourth element, which is fire. Right, so if at any stage you lose one of those elements, that's it, your fire's gone. Cool. Now, what I do when I first rock up into a location and I go, right, is this a good spot? Looks like a pretty cool spot. Do I have any problems? I've got a bit of dry grass over that way, but I know the wind is blowing this way, away from it, not a problem. Is there any other campfires around here that I can utilize? So I'm not just making a campfire, you know, everybody's making their own one everywhere. If you've got a purposeful one, or you can see in that area where you've decided to camp, there's not a purposeful one, but there is one that someone's done before, utilize that one. Brilliant. Right, so I've got myself a spot here. So the first thing I do is just clean up the area of the loose stuff. Now you've got a couple of choices. You can actually dig down into the ground, like make a bit of a hollow. I don't normally like to do that. I just brush this away, and then what I'll do, geez, this ground's so soft, it's been pretty wet out around here. Right on there, but I'm gonna use some stones. I want to leave the least amount. My best outcome is that someone comes through here and has no idea that I've been here and that a fire's been here. That's my goal. So that's why I don't, dig out a hollow like that, because it's you can see that. We'll just go on top, put some rocks around. Let's do it. So now I'm only, obviously the rocks, depending on what size fire you're doing, I'm only doing a little one for this purpose, like that, nothing too fancy. We don't want to try and block up every little crevice, because that's where the oxygen's going to help come into the base. Okay, cool. So now what we're going to do is our tinder, kindling, and some wood. Let's do the kindling first. Now, if you're looking at bushcraft ones, kindlings, if you don't have a fire lighter, I'm going to grab my bag and I'm going to get what I call kindling. So kindling for me is the fire lighters and very tiny dead twigs. That's all I need for kindling. If you didn't have a fire lighter, well then you'd have to go with dry grass and birch bark or whatever, which we don't have around here. So let's do that. See what we've got in my bag of goodies. Got a pot because I reckon I'll make a cuppa while I'm out here on the fire. Got me drinking water, brew kit, which will have me coffee and all that kind of stuff in it, and me fire lighters. And I've got a little bit of extra water there. Fire lighter wise, I've got these redhead fire lighters. You buy them in a box. They're packaged like that. You just light I'll show you how they work in a minute. And then I've also got my favourite, which is the cotton balls with petroleum jelly wiped on them. And I'll show you how they work as well. Right, one of those. Get me lighter out. Now I've just got a Sodo lighter. You can have a Bic lighter. No big deal. That's the wrapper starting to go, and then boom. So these are just absolutely fantastic. Using this as tinder. Now this one here, that's just, you can see it's all sticky. This will be exactly the same. Boom. Now, with this size, what do you call it, cotton ball, I think that one lasts longer than that one, only because of its size. So clearly put some twigs on top of that, and that's just gonna bloody get you up and going. Rightio guys, this is pretty common around this area, a lot of bloody areas around in Australia. This whole tree right to the ground, this thing is dead as a doornail. So this is going to provide really everything I need right from the tinder. So what I'm classing as tinder is basically, see that, really fine, just fine stuff. And as you can see, when you break it, see how it just totally snaps off? That's dead dry. I've grabbed a bloody piece here off another tree. Now it looks as it is dying. You can actually see some colour in there, but when you break it, see how it does that? And it kind of like, you get that? That means it's not fully dry. Basically, there's a bit of moisture in it. Now that's not a problem. I could even light the fire off this stuff because I have those, what do you call it, the fire lighters. Right, let's just grab some crap. What I'll do, so that's going to give us basically the tinder, but then talk about a pencil-sized bit of wood is your kindling. That's what you'd class as, or what I class as kindling, that size. And then you just start going up from there. And then depending on how long you're going to have the fire, how big you're going to have the fire, if it's overnight, well, then you'll go into the bigger stuff. You know, and obviously, I've got bloody shit here. Move that along, you know, wrist-size stuff. And obviously you can go bigger as well. Righto, so this is where the patience and the preparation. So all I'm going to do is grab all the little stuff. In actual fact, this soil's a bit bloody damp, so I might just whack a few bits down there like that, so we've got something to sit on. Beauty, nothing fancy. Grab all this little stuff. And now all I'm doing is just breaking this up ready for me to feed it on. I've got a bigger stuff over there. Smaller stuff there. Grab a little bit more. So obviously just make sure you got plenty, because there's nothing worse than when you're struggling to get that fire to go and you've got to go running off to get more of this stuff. You want it ready to go. Preparation, they reckon. If you're doing some painting a house, painting a bike, it's all about the preparation. Same with most things in life. Right, so now I'll just get a little bit more bigger stuff, because that'll be enough to get this fire going. Righto, so for what I want to do and just cook up a bloody coffee, this is going to be heaps for what I need. Now you would have noticed that, so we're looking at that tree. If you want to get the dry stuff, I mean, there's been a lot of water, a lot of rain over the last month through here. So anything that's touching the ground is going to have moisture in it. So if you can grab a dead tree or a dead branch on a tree, whoop, Jesus, that's a bit tough, that one. That'll make sure that it's dry and that it's going to catch and kick off without a problem. See, this one, you can see it's a bit moist, so I'm not going to worry about that one or that one. I reckon that's going to be enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use one of these. I won't worry about the commercial firelighter. I just want to use one of these. Put it there. There's two ways to make, well, two ways that I use, and that is the log cabin, where you lay them like that and just build it up like a Jenga thing. or the teepee. When I'm out in the bush, I normally just do the teepee. At home is where I do the log cabin. Now, I've got this Sotto thing, so I could pile all this stuff on, then I can put that in there and light that up. But what I'm going to do, just use a thick lighter. Now, because this is a commercial thing, I can light this and then start putting the stuff on there, just to make it easier. So you just do that. Oops. So it gets up and going. Now, just all this fine stuff. And this is the idea, you don't want to put too much on so that you actually smother it. Just slowly put all the tiny little pieces on there. And before you know it, this thing will just start kicking off. Now if you think it's struggling, you can always blow on it. Well, not quite at this stage. When you get a few more little bits and pieces arcing up on it, you can then do the old forge thing where you I just realised, guys, I don't know if you can hear me because my microphone's over there on my jacket. Bloody hell. Okay, hopefully you can hear me now. I'll put this down here. So now we've got sticks. I can see red embers, so we're pretty well cooking now. Now I can just start building it up. But you just got to remember, don't overdo it, because you can still smother it at this stage. The smoke's a good indication of when you start to smother it too much. If you have a good burning fire that's getting plenty of oxygen and it's got good heat, you won't get a lot of smoke. Also, that also means if your wood's not wet either. Now I can start laying on some bigger stuff, get into this big pile over here. Now I'm kind of like on top of the teepee, I'm doing a bit of a Jenga thing. There we go, guys. That is now cooking. So I could now even squash that down and then make it, you know, a lower. Ooh, that's come back so spunk, it's spitting right out. And that's it. It's just basic, take your time. Flames are going towards the bike, Jesus. Don't worry, it's a fair way away, guys. Now we can just bloody poke that down a bit. That'll slow it down a little bit, but we'll put on these bigger bits. And if you can, it's best to do the crisscross because it allows the air better instead of laying them all together in the one direction. So that's it, guys. It's as easy as that. Now obviously don't leave your fire, like don't jump on your bike and then bloody go for a ride or an extended walk or something. You've got to, you know, stay within bloody, you know, close quarters. Don't leave it for too long, especially at this stage when it's still young. You've got to be tending to it. It's a living, breathing bloody thing. So it's not until you get, you know, later on when you have big logs and stuff like that, that you can just, you know, let it go. I'm not saying don't leave your camp with an open fire. You can't, you don't do that. So let's get a cuppa going. I brought me pot. I want me cup, some coffee, spoon. Hopefully that wind doesn't change, because I reckon that will bloody burn me. Pour enough water in there, that in me pot. I'll just sit that up there, I don't know if you can see that, just next to the rock. Once this dies down a little bit, I'll bloody whack it on the coals. She's a fiery beast. Whee! Whack that on there. Alright, I think we might be, yep, definitely boiling. Whew. Yelch, that is hot as. Let's pour that in there. Leave a bit of room for the cold water. See, this stick here, it had moisture in it. What I'm going to do, because I'm not going to be here that long, just scrape him up. Set him to the side. And we'll just burn the rest of this stuff. In actual fact, I might pull this one out as well. All right, bit of cold water in that coffee. So basically, once I've had my coffee, this should die down, and then I'll show you how I proper put that out, and then hopefully leave bugger all trace of me having a fire here. Oh, that's good. Sounds like, I don't know if that's a helicopter or a, no, I think it's a plane, a small plane engine. Can't see the bugger. Oh, that is good. I've earned that, I reckon. But that's how, I didn't time that or anything, but that's how simple it is to get a fire going. Have your fire lighters, have a Bic lighter or a butane lighter of some description. Find a standing dead tree if you can. If you can't, you know, just try and find the stuff that's not sitting in the dirt. And then start with the real fine stuff, get that on, and then just work your way up. Don't smother it, just build it slowly. Treat it like a living being, because it is. Righto, I'll come back to you when we're ready to put this out. Okay guys, so I've had my cuppa, I've had a ciggy, and this is looking pretty good. Now, the first thing I'll do is my cup. I was washing my cup, but I'll save the bloody crap just for on there. Now these rocks on the sides will have, yeah, a bit of heat in them. Bit of water. Now, if you are light on water, it just means you've got to bloody stick around a little bit longer before you leave this, because you can't leave it. That's got a bit of twigs and stuff, or strong wind can blow ashes out or embers and kick off a bushfire. Now these two pieces before, if I put my hand on them, that's cold. I feel a tiny little bit of warmth in it. That one's cold. So these, just bloody piff them. Oh, these rocks, we can get rid of the rocks. Just get them away from the fire. And I'll make sure that they're pretty cool by the time I leave. Yep. Right. Just stir up. And because these are only, it was only a small fire, that's not very thick. There you go, guys. That is done. There's no, you can feel right down under where the dirt is. That's just steam, warmth coming off. I'll give that another bloody shot. Beautiful. So now what I do is I'll just grab some of this and just scatter it. It's good, good material for the ground. Put a bit of life back in the into the soil. Righto. So these rocks, they bloody they don't hold the heat that long. Once you get them away from the fire, I mean, it's got warmth in it. Oh, actually, that one's a little bit hot there. But yeah, they'll cool down real quick. And that's pretty much it, guys. Just walking past here, you're not even going to know that there was a fire there. Righto, all packed up, raring to go. And like I said, yeah, you wouldn't know that there was a campfire there. So that's how I like to do it. It's not always possible. Obviously, when you have a really big fire or whatever, that's normally at, you know, designated campgrounds or camp areas that are commonly used. So you can just use the existing one and you don't have to do this. This is something that I would do where there's not normally, I've pulled up somewhere and it's not normally a camp area. I like to just leave it like that. Well, there you go, guys, that's it. For the experienced guys, hope I entertained you. For the beginners, the city folk, hope you got something out of it. Don't forget, you can practice basically in your backyard. Get some tinder and stuff from Bunnings and just play around with doing it. It's better to fail in your backyard than fail when you're at camp, it's raining or it's cold and all you want to do is get a campfire going. Trust me, practicing in your backyard before you go, it's good fun, but it'll save you bacon when you're out there as well. Righto, I'm going to jump on Max and do some of these trails before I head home. Righto, remember, keep on riding, and if you ain't riding, keep on keeping on.